Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast blood.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to this week's episode of the GRINDcast. We got 5 quotes that I want to share with you. 2-3 minutes a piece. I want to break them down. Here's the first one. Someone with half your talent is winning with twice your consistency. Someone with half your talent is winning with twice your consistency. And so what this means to me is that how often do you look around you in sports or in business or where you're at that somebody's not as talented, but they end up performing better than people that are more talented than them? That's typically only because they're more consistent. They're consistent with when they show up. They're consistent with the days that they practice and how hard they practice and their focus and their energy. And so check yourself and look internally and ask yourself, is there somebody with half my talent winning because they're given twice our consistency? Okay, it's okay to get beat. You can't win them all, but don't get beat because it's something in your grasp, something in your hands that you're not doing, okay? So none of that. Nobody with half our talent is going to come out this week because they're more consistent, okay? Let's go out there and be more consistent. Number 2, when entitlement is high, gratitude is low. When entitlement is high, gratitude is low. And so when people are entitled, then it's hard for them to be grateful. So if people you're doing things for, they don't appreciate what you're doing, they don't have gratitude, then they're entitled. And if they're entitled to it, then they're typically not appreciative of what you're doing. And so I always try to look at areas where people are doing things for me. Not that I'm perfect. This is through growth, through messing things up, through falling short, through self-evaluation, through making mistakes. And I still fall short. But I'm always trying to remind myself, man, what are people doing for me in this moment that I need to show gratitude for and not feel just entitled to because of whatever the situation is. And so if you feel entitled that, oh, you should do that because of this, or I'm owed this, then it's going to be hard to be grateful, and it's going to be hard for you to be great if you're not grateful. Number 3. It's exhausting to be great. This one is above the door where you come into our big group meeting room that we have. There's a big door above it, and it says it's exhausting to be great. And that came from a story of me asking a leader, a Hall of Fame leader, a well-recognized leader around the world, when he had all these responsibilities and all these people that he was responsible for. I'm like, man, when do you get that done? Like, how would you fit all that in? Like, sometimes I had to do it at midnight. Sometimes I had to do it at 10 o'clock at night. He just looked at me and was like, it's exhausting to be great. You just got to figure out how great you want to be. It's exhausting to be great. Let's stop feeling bad for ourselves. Let's not buy into the 4-minute work week and the 4 minutes to abs and you only got to work 1 day a week, or let's stop buying into that, because 99% of the time, if you want to be great, it's going to be exhausting. Let's start out with keeping it real with ourselves, because we could deal with the basis of truth of if you're trying to be great and you're doing things and you're exhausted, just understand that it's exhausting to be great. That means we can't feel bad for ourselves. You got to understand, if you want to be great, there's going to be times where you got to make sacrifices that other people are not willing to make. You got to do things when other people are not willing to do them. You got to be available when other people are unavailable. You got to be traveling. You got to be waking up. You got to be going to bed. You got to be sacrificing. You got to be doing some things that sometimes it takes a lot out of you. You got to be able to absorb the punishment at times without letting it affect you, because it's exhausting to be great. And so if you're out there and you want to be great, just be okay with that. You got to recover. At times you got to, just like an athlete, you're exhausted, or you got to go through recovery. You got to ice yourself. You got to rest. But just understand, so many times, I've never seen more people. When I look at people that blame and people that get upset for things that they didn't do, when you talk about, you ever hear the other, well, I guess I'm slipping in another quote here. Don't be upset from the results that you don't get from the work that you didn't do. I see people get upset all the time from not getting the results from the work that they don't do, or it's not coming fast enough to them. They're putting in the work, but it's not coming fast enough to them. You got to understand it's just exhausting to be great. And so if you're great out there and you're exhausted, I just want to tip my hat to you and tell you, keep on going, keep on pushing, keep on grinding, because that's what it takes. Next one, fourth quote. Everyone wants the view, nobody wants to climb. Everybody wants the view, nobody wants to climb. It's easy to look at where a person's at, what a person has, and not look back on the climb. So the other day I was enamored watching Steph Curry shoot. He made over 100 three-pointers in a row. Can you believe that, Josh? Over 100 three-pointers in a row in practice. And I'm like, man. And then they're showing clips of how he hit 7 three-pointers in a row in a game to bring his team back from being down 21 or 20 or whatever it was. And it's like, yeah, of course, because 7 three-pointers in a row to come back from 20 down is crazy in the fourth quarter, but not when you hit 105 of them in a row. It's hard to make 3 in a row. This dude's making 105 in a row. And so when you look at the view of, imagine being the person to be an NBA champion, to be an all-star, to make millions of dollars, the view of bringing your team back and having the city go crazy, city go wild, you hit a game winner. Everybody wants that view, but the climb, nobody wants to climb. Can you imagine how many times Steph Curry had to be in the gym by himself shooting shots when his elbow was tired and his wrist was tired and there was nobody in the gym left with him, and somebody got to, do you know how many, could you imagine how many sacrifices he's made for years and years and years and years to just keep climbing? Just keep climbing. One ring after another, one step after another, one practice after another, one sacrifice, one grind after another, the climb. And so sometimes what you're looking at when you're looking on Instagram or you're looking at somebody's life that's successful, you're like, man, look at that view. Look at the view of that ocean. Look at the view of that house. Look at the view of that car. Look at the view of that plane. Look at the view of that family. Look at the view of that program. Look at the view of the church. Look at the view. Whatever it is, we're looking at the view and like, wow, I want that. Yeah, who don't want that? But it's exhausting to be great. Nobody wants that climb. And so we got to be people here that want all the smoke. Right? We want all the smoke. We want that climb. We embrace the climb. We understand the climb. I think people get upset and frustrated because they don't understand it's a climb. It's not a destination where you stop climbing if you want to go to the top. And so they expect to get it without making the steps that you got it. They want to go from A straight to Z. They don't want to go from A to B to C to D. They want to go straight from A to Z. They don't want to go from this ring on the ladder, this rung on the ladder to 100. We got to climb. So everybody wants to view. Nobody wants to climb. So think back when you're looking at somebody's view, when you're looking at something somebody got, when you're admiring where somebody is at, I want you to go back and do the research for yourself. Go back and do the research and say, what was the climb like? Am I down to put in the climb like this person put in the climb? Because if you are, then it's okay to want that view. I think the haters, the people that turn into the biggest haters, they're the ones that want the view, but they don't want to climb. The last one, easy is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Easy is a greater threat to progress than hardship. You know, it was that old thing that was going around for a while, and it said, hard times make strong men. You could put women, whatever, but I'm going to just use the quote they put, men. Hard times make strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times. What does that mean? Well, when things are good times, it sometimes it creates weakness, and those end up creating hard times. When you're winning, when everybody's telling you that you're good, when everybody's telling you that you're great, when everything is easy, it's hard for you to sharpen your axe. It's hard for you to sharpen your sword. It's hard for you to develop what you're supposed to develop. It's a greater threat to the next level of who you're supposed to become than hardship, because when things are hard, it causes you to grow. It causes you to bite down. It causes you to have grit. It causes you to stretch, to strengthen, to overcome, to persevere. And those are things that bring growth, and those are things that bring progress. And so sometimes success is a bad teacher. And so we got to be able to understand that when we're going through hardships, that sometimes the hardship is the blessing that takes you to the next level and gives you the wisdom to where you want to go to the next level. And that when you see somebody having easy times, or if you're having good times, easy times, just stay on guard, because it's such a threat to the next level to you. Is you got to find a way to get yourself uncomfortable right now. You got to find a way, because things are smooth, things are easy. But when things are tough, when things are difficult, it's like, yeah, man, it takes everything you got. All your focus, all your energy. So many times I have conversations with people, and they're talking about, yeah, man, it just seems like, you know, when I'm doing good, once I get rolling, I fall off with my relationship with God. I stop spending as much time, and, you know, this, but then when hard times hit, it's what brings me back to, well, that's because when you have hardship, it's easier to progress. It wakes you up, keeps you open, keeps you humble to grow. But when things are moving, when things are humming, it's hard for you to listen to other people, hard for you to still seek out ways to get uncomfortable when you're reading the press clippings and everybody's telling you that you're great. And so let's just make sure that we, in our pursuit of greatness, that we have a good relationship and understand that progress sometimes comes with a little bit of hardship. Be on guard if things get easy. Let's invite the climb so we can have the view. Let's get exhausted so we could be great. Let's stay grateful. Let's stay away from being entitled, not being thankful for what people do for you, the time they give to us, the money they give to us, the effort they give to us, the belief they give in us, whatever it is. Let's stay grateful, and let's for dang sure not let somebody outwork us with more consistency. And if we are the person that doesn't have as much talent, or we don't have as much resources, or what it is, remember this: there's somebody out there everywhere. There's somebody with half the talent that's winning with twice the consistency, and maybe that could be you. All right, let's go out there and have a great week. As always, we appreciate you joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready, it's a new day.